Hey guys, right, a video from the dark corners of my unit today. So we're looking at a CCM MT230. I did a few videos on these earlier in the year because I got some for sale, and I've actually sold 78 of them. I've got 3 left, which I'm probably going to keep for myself, maybe run some little mini tours on them. I keep having that idea. They're basically a CRF 230L copy, Chinese made, at CCM. You see the badge there. They were building them or buying them in batches of 100, having the racks put on, so like a military rack, so radio on this side and an M16 carrier on there, handguards, or etc. And they were selling them to the armies of Afghanistan and the Philippines. I think the US had some, not for the army, but for some sort of patrols or whatever. You know, they just sold them in batches of 100. And then in 2019, I think that contract ended, and they ended up with a batch of 80, 90, 100 bikes or whatever left over up in Bolton. And a few years passed, obviously, and then in winter last year I was talking to John at CCM. I know CCM very well from when the GP450 came out, and when I was working on the magazines, I was always very keen to promote that bike as much as I could because I liked what it offered. And I was talking to John. He said, what do you think we should do with all these bikes? We've got all these bikes in containers up in Bolton, and we need to get rid of them. We need somebody to sell them. And I looked at it and I thought, that is a perfect trail bike for my type of customers who want something light, low and slow and cheap. So I wanged them out the door at 2.5, and I sold 78, 130 kilos, 5-speed box, air cooled, kickstart, electric start, screw and lock nut valves, as simple as it gets, really. Simple as it gets. No carburetor, no catalytic converter, and each bike went through a single vehicle approval. Which CCM did, which meant that they could be registered as UK bikes. So people came down here, they bought them, and they've gone off trail riding. Some people are selling them on. I think with any trail bike, there's a novelty element to it, and if you're not using it enough for a trail ride, it doesn't start to make sense. So there's a few coming up for sale now, but I think generally most people are happy. And in terms of reliability, there's not been any major issues, bar I had one guy whose top end was starting to rattle quite a bit. It performed all right, but it rattled badly. So I guess unlike KTM, I put him a new engine in. So he got a new engine in that. And there's been a few things like some things aren't torqued up properly. So odds and sods on people's bikes have fell off. But I think that's an assembly issue as much as a production issue. And they're just a really fun, light, easy bike to ride. And it's taken 6, 7, 8 months almost to get the parts for them. But they arrived here yesterday on a lorry, and I just thought I'd do a little video to show the terror and excitement of having this many parts arrive down here for me to try and catalogue and then get out to people who need them. Obviously, there's a massive surplus of stock, of parts, so I don't know what's going to happen to it, to be honest, but it was either take it or leave it job, and selling that many bikes, I needed to be able to supply parts, so that's the mess that I've got myself into. But it's exciting. It's a bit like Raiders of the Lost Ark, when they open up in big old warehouses, old artifacts and tombs. So here we've got mudguards, green mudguards, dozens of them, and underneath there we've got handlebars. And then in this one, let's have a look what we've got in this one. Everything. Crankcase covers, starter motors, something or other, left, right pedals, so foot pedals, there's foot pegs, there is literally, what's in that one, there's brake pads, there are, what on earth is that? The stuff I don't know what is, or what does. Got air boxes, air filters, what have we got here? Starter motors, master light, left hand switch gear. We have got the biggest supply of air filters you will ever see. Hundreds of air filters. Cables. We've got, what's this here? Got hundreds of these, something to do with a clutch thing. Hundreds of them. I'm going to turn them into an ornate decorative cigarette ashtray or something like that, because I'm never going to get rid of that, Betty. I say it was a job lot, take it or leave it. I've got frames, no VIN numbers on them, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with them. Got more of those clutch things. I've got rear sprockets down there. I've got a swing arm, a full swing arm there. I've got the gear thing, transmission, gearbox, spline, spindle, sprocket, whatever you call it. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be an interesting cataloguing process, isn't it? That thingy with sprockets on. Let's have a look what else we got. Some of it's marked as SWM, which is interesting. These are brand new engines, but they've got SWN on airbound on them, which is curious because the engines I thought were built by launching, but these are in any new items gives to Sophie. I mean, maybe they've got other boxes, because in fairness, SWM who make the engines for the Spitfire, so it might just be a donor cardboard box rather than this place of origin for that 230 CCM. Got these toolkits, which I'm assuming were issued with all the bikes. Like a Honda toolkit, none of it's any use, none of it will fit, none of it will do the jobs you need it to, like the rear rear axle bolt. And then if I take you, one second, if I take you up here, actually let's see what else we got. Yeah, another engine there, you can see that? And then airboxes, loads of airboxes. The hope is there's enough parts to build some new bikes out of it all. I'm try and get some money back. But for the people who bought the CCMs, the idea was to put some parts kits together, spares kits, so for people who've got the bikes, they've got spare plastics and things like that. Yep, I'm not sure. And I think it's all specific to the MT230. There are other bikes that use this engine, but I'm not sure what they are in the UK. Gear levers, loads of gear levers. But this up here is the most exciting. Let me show you. Climb up here. So the bikes, because they were sold to the military, some were dark green to go with, I guess, forested areas or forested invading forces, places like that, for example. And then in other parts, they were selling them to desert armies. And so it looks like there's an entire set of plastics to turn it into a sand-coloured bike, which I didn't expect or anticipate I was going to get, but that's what I've got. So potentially the bikes that we can build out of these parts, we could turn them into sand-coloured bikes. We've got headlights in there, we've got handguards in there. I don't even know where to begin. I really, honestly don't know where to begin. So, this is another fine mess I've got myself into, but life is about getting yourself into a mess, isn't it? And exploring the avenues and going on the adventures that these silly decisions bring upon us. Here, toolkits, punch repair kits. So each bike, I'm assuming when they sent them out in the military, got a punch repair kit with the air canisters and the glue and things like that. Got hundreds of those. Hundreds and hundreds of those. Frames, more frames, front wheels. Got no back wheels though, unfortunately. Oh, that's interesting. That tyre there is a knobbly tyre. They're the tyres I want. Yeah, okay. So that's it. That is the supply of parts for a fleet of CCM MT230s. These parts will probably be with me until I die, because there's no way I'm going to get rid of them all. So if you've got an MT230, whether it's off me or you got one from before, or you got a CXR 230 which CCM was selling as a sort of enduro bike, give us a shout, because I've got plenty of parts. But yeah, I think the biggest shame is that nobody builds a bike like this. You know, a 3/4 size bike, light, manageable, simple tech. I mean, obviously simple tech's gone out the window because of emissions and things like that. So you couldn't sell a bike like that anyway. But you know, the concept of simple light technology to enable the average rider, I would say, to go off and explore and do so without the fear of dropping a bike, picking up a bike, breaking a bike. These are largely unbreakable bikes. There's not a lot to do on them. The weak parts of the chains stretch out, the pads away quite quickly. But hopefully the rest are going to stand up and get plenty of miles for people to enjoy. So that's it. I just wanted to do a video, just show what I'm up to. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm busy. I've been busy with this, selling bikes this year, but I've sort of kept it on the, I guess kept it on the download because I've not needed to talk about it too much. But I just thought these parts were interesting, you know, just to show, like, I guess the infrastructure of what CCM were doing when they were selling the military bikes, how many parts they would supply alongside 100 bikes. They would ship all this out. I'm assuming this went out with the 100 bikes to Afghanistan, a 40-foot container full of all this stuff. So that's it. Terrifying but exciting. Take it easy. Cheers.